A very good morning to all the students of PUC second year, Arts, Science and Commerce. I am Muhammad Ghulam Rabbani from Department of English, working at Nehru Arts, Science and Commerce College, Kentucky Republic. My dear students, without taking much of your time, I would like to start the second part of the lesson. In first part, I have highlighted the culture, the tradition, the rituals and mannerism of Japanese. In second part, it is all about traffic rules in Brazil. My dear students, as you know that George Mikes has written this lesson Japan and Brazil through a traveler's eye. In this lesson, he has written the experiences of visiting Japan and Brazil. So already I told you that he has written about Japanese culture, about the greeting forms of Japan, wave life of Japan, because it is a travelogue. It is about travel writing. So now today I am going to highlight the second part of the lesson. It is all about traffic rules in Brazil. My dear students, let me start here. Says nobody hurries in Brazil. It does not really matter whether you reach your destination an hour too soon, a day late, or not at all. So the writer, he describes about the way of life of the people of Brazil pertaining to what is called traffic rules. Says that nobody hurries in Brazil. In Brazil, people are very what is called lazy in reaching their destination. So nobody hurries in Brazil. It does not really matter whether you reach your destination an hour too soon, a day late. So it does not matter that you can reach to your destination an hour soon or a day late or not at all. So the punctuality does not matter in Brazil. People did not follow the punctuality. The grey pavements in the streets of Copacabana are often decorated with beautiful black mosaics. So the writer mentions about the road and pavements. Pavements is nothing but it is a footpath, and he says that in the grey pavements in streets of Copacabana, name of a place, are often decorated with beautiful black mosaics. So the pavements of Copacabana are often well decorated with beautiful black mosaics, with beautiful marbles, a unique type of decoration. And the writer says that it is a unique type of decoration or a design So the government of Brazil, they decorate the pavements so that it will look beautiful and it will be very smooth for the pedestrian to walk to reach to their destination. Only a people alive to beauty in their surroundings and who have plenty of time for contemplation during their meditative ambulatory exercises would take the trouble to decorate the pavements they walk on. So it is a unique type of decoration and only a people alive to beauty in their surroundings and who have plenty of time for contemplation during their meditative or ambulatory, that is walking in circle exercises would take the trouble to decorate the pavements they walk on. Then however, as soon as these easygoing, leisurely characters get a steering wheel in their hands, no speed is fast enough for them. So however, as soon as these easygoing, leisurely characters get a steering wheel in their hands, no speed is fast enough for them. So once the people of Brazil, they are driving the cars, they become very reckless and they accelerate and move very fast. So in their hands no speed is fast enough for them. They wanted to drive very fast. They wanted to reach their destination very fast. But you can also witness whenever they are walking or they become pedestrian, they do not mind that they will reach an hour late to their offices. But once they get the car or steering wheel, they drive very fast as if they are very much hurry to reach to their destination or offices. You would then be inclined to believe that gaining a tenth of a second is a matter of grave importance for all of them all the time. So you would then be inclined to believe that gaining a tenth of a second is matter of grave importance for all of them all the time. So it looks like that tenth second for them is very significant, very important. That's why they drive recklessly, they drive very fast. But in other hand, you can also see that if they are walking on foot, if they become pedestrian, they are not in a hurry. They move towards their destination, towards their directions, very slowly. But once they get car, they drive very fast as if 10 seconds of their lives would be very significant and important. Motor cars are extremely expensive in Brazil, but motor cars are very expensive in Brazil. Import duties being crippling and murderous. Only a few other poorer South American states are in a worse position in this respect. So the writer is giving example that only a few other poorer South American states are in a worse position in this respect. Complaints are universal. Complaints are universal. Of course, hardly anyone can afford a car, but in that area, hardly anyone can afford a car. Yet this only means that the number of motor vehicles is growing by leaps and bounds. Yet this only means that number of motor cars or motor vehicles is growing by leaps and bounds, growing significantly or considerably, almost as if cars were distributed free of charge to all in the century. So as if cars were distributed free of charge to all the people. So it means that it indicates that there are plenty of cars. Almost every individual is having car in that area, in that place. Thus the pedestrian's life is becoming more hazardous every day. Thus means in this way, the pedestrian's life, pedestrians means the persons who walk on foot. The pedestrian's life is becoming more hazardous every day, becoming more hazardous, more dangerous, more risky every day, because the drivers or the owner of the cars, when they start driving, they drive recklessly without noticing the pedestrians, and it is very difficult to cross the roads for the pedestrians. It is not that drivers do not care about pedestrians, so it does not mean that drivers are not caring about the pedestrians. The trouble is that they do care about them. What is the trouble? The trouble is that the drivers, they do care about themselves. They are in fact on the lookout for them. They look out for themselves only, but they do not care about the pedestrians. As soon as a driver notices a pedestrian step off the pavement, so as soon as the driver notices the pedestrian or a person who walks on footpath or pavement, or he is about to step off the pavement, the pedestrian is about to step out from the pavement or take a step to cross the road, he regards him as fair game. So as soon as the driver saw that pedestrian wanted to cross the road, the driver intentionally wanted to accelerate, wanted to drive fast, so that the pedestrian cannot or will not cross the road. He takes aim and accelerates. He takes aim and accelerates, and he runs fast, he drives fast. The pedestrians has to jump leaps and bounds and run for their life. The pedestrians, they jump leaps and bounds, they jump and retreating, means coming back to the pavements and running for their life. They wanted to save their life because the drivers are driving very fast. After looking the pedestrian, that pedestrian wanted to cross the road. He does not resent this in the least. So the driver does not resentment displeased in this in the least. Driver and pedestrian, like hunter and prey, like hunter and prey, smile amicably at each other. Though there is a competition, the pedestrian wanted to cross, but the driver does not want that pedestrian should cross the road. When the driver crosses the man and man takes his steps back, Both the pedestrian and drivers, they look at each other and they smile. Their smile is amicable. So their smile is amicable. Amicable means very, very friendly. I win today, you will win tomorrow. He says, I will win today, you will win tomorrow. So he wanted to win. According to driver, he won the race and you will win tomorrow. So the pedestrian may win tomorrow. Fair enough. It was like a fair game or fair enough. The war between drivers themselves is murderous but good tempered. The war, it was like a war between drivers and the drivers themselves. The war between drivers themselves is murderous. It was very, very murderous, very, very dangerous, very, very risky also for the pedestrians, but good tempered. But it was in good tempered. Though there is a war between pedestrians and drivers, but it was in good tempered. They cut in how they are driving. They drive very recklessly. They cut in here and there. They overtake on both sides. The drivers, they overtake their cars on both the sides. They force you to brake violently and commit all the most heinous crimes of the road. So the drivers, they force you to brake violently, to go here and there violently, to run for your dear life and commit all the most heinous crimes. They commit all the most heinous crimes, hateful crimes or hateful wickets. Heinous means hateful or wicked crimes of the road, and 20 times every hour. So they do all the activities, all these bad activities 20 times every hour, so that the pedestrian cannot cross the road. But they smile at you at the same time there is no anger. But though they are doing all those things 20 times every hour, but they smile at you. They will smile at you. The same time there is no anger, same time there is no anger also. No hostility, there is no hostility, no anger. Hostility means enmity. No mad hooting, there is no mad hooting, that is called shouting or cry of an amount. So there was no hooting, there is no hostility, no enmity, no anger between pedestrian and the driver. They smile at each other. The Avenida Presidente Vargas is the worst place of all. So the Avenida Presidente Vargas, the name of a place, is the worst place of all. It was the worst place for all the people. Why? You will come to know the reason. You stand there trying to cross the road and contemplating the truly fascinating problem. So the writer is giving example of a place in Brazil by name Avenida Presidente Vargas. According to him, it was the worst place relating to traffic rules. Relating to traffic, you stand there. He gives an example that you stand there for a long time and try to cross the road and contemplating and to look at on all sides. You will be there for a long time to cross the road and to look at on all sides. You look at all sides the truly fascinating problem. But it will be the truly fascinating problem for the person who wanted to cross the road. For long hours, he has to stand, he has to look all the directions to cross the road, but the drivers are driving very recklessly. And as you know that motor cars in Brazil are more in numbers. That's why it is very difficult to cross the road, and especially in Avenida Presidente Vargas. How can crawling traffic proceed at such terrifying speed? There was crawling traffic, and it proceeds at such terrifying speed. It moves at such a terrifying speed, very terrifying speed, as hour after hour passes. So as hour after hour passes, without a ray of hope of an auspicious crossing. So without a ray of hope of auspicious crossing, auspicious, there are two meanings. One is disastrous, another is, as you know that auspicious, on this auspicious occasion, for example, good occasion, successful occasion, like this. So here it refers to disastrous. So without a ray of hope of an auspicious crossing, so without hoping of crossing the road, because it was disastrous to cross the road, you may witness a scene. So you may witness also a scene, something like this, something like this. You may witness a scene, something like this. A man on your side of Avenida Vargas suddenly catches sight of a friend of his own on the other side and starts waving to him. So, the writer says that a man on your side of Avenida Vargas suddenly catches sight of a friend of his own. If there is a friend and he is other side of the road watching his friends, and it is very difficult, or it was very difficult to cross the road, and simply he will start waving to him. He will start waving as like Tata and by like this, waving to him. For a long time he will stand, but it was very difficult. It was very difficult to cross the road, and it is the experience of George Mikes that he deals here, that he writes here. At the same time looking completely mystified. So at the same time, and sometimes looking completely mystified, completely puzzled, and you will be confused. Oh my God, it is so difficult to cross the road in Brazil. How on earth did you get over there? So the writer says that how on earth did you get over there? He shouts across. So the friend will shout across, trying to make himself heard above the traffic, traffic, because it is very difficult to even hear the voice of the friend who was standing other side of the road, because due to the traffic. It is the other fellow's turn to be surprised by this naive question. So, it is the other fellow's turn to be surprised. The other fellow who was standing to cross the road to meet his friend, it was very, very surprised for him also by this naive question, Naive here, it means like childlike question or intelligent also. Naive question, he yields back, he will shout back from there, how I was born in this side. So he will be very much irritated by waiting for a long hour to cross the road and to meet his friend. But when he is unsuccessful to cross the road, he is totally irritated, annoyed, and will say, how I was born on this side, as if he was born on that side only and he is unable to cross the road. So here the writer, he writes about Brazil's traffic, that people are suffering a lot because they cannot cross the road easily. There is a fair game between driver and pedestrian. And another thing is, in short, we can say that when these drivers, they are on the pavement, they are walking on their foot, they are not in a hurry. They will go slowly and they will reach to their destination half an hour late or 1 hour late. It does not matter. But once they drive the car, they drive very recklessly, they drive very fast, as if they are in hurry, they have to reach in time. But it is different that the people of Brazil, once they drive car, they drive very recklessly, very fast. So my dear students, you go through the textbook, read, write, understand, and 1 mark questions and answers will be sent to you along this video, along this video class, so that it will be easy for you to write in the examination. So dear students, let me stop for the day. I will continue to the next class. Have a blessed day. Thank you very much.